Hey, welcome students to our first installment of Algebra, which I like to call the language of mathematics. Today, our topic will be converting English sentences to algebraic expressions. And so, without further ado, let's check it out. So what do we need to know before we begin this lesson? Number one, we will need to know which mathematical symbols can substitute which mathematical keywords. Example, all together substitutes the @ sign. Secondly, how basic arithmetic operations work. Example, plus, minus, multiplication, etc., as we see there. And in this class, we will define algebra, discover one of CSEC's requirements for this topic, have a brief warm-up of mathematical keywords, outline the famous 3 easy steps, I like to call them, rewrite English sentences as algebraic expressions, and summarize all objectives above. Let's begin with operations into expressions. Example, ages between 2 children, and these children are Shaquille and his younger brother Moses. Now let's suppose Shaquille was born in, let's pick a random year, Shaquille was born in the year of 2012. Meanwhile, his brother Moses was born in 2014. We can clearly see that there will be an age difference between Shaquille and Moses, and that age difference is 2 years, or 2014 take away 2012, which means when Shaquille becomes 4 years of age, Moses will be 4 minus 2, which is 2 years of age. And when Shaquille is 5 years old, then Moses will be 5 minus 2, which is 3 years old. And on his 6th birthday, Shaquille will turn, obviously, 6 years. Whereupon Moses will be 6 minus 2, which is 4 years old. Now let's put these numbers in a table and examine them more closely. And here we are. Notice a general trend for Moses' age of minus 2 for every entry of Shaquille's age. Which brings us to our first question about the relationship between Shaquille's age and Moses' age. And that question is, what is Moses' age if Shaquille is X years old? You have 15 seconds. And the answer is X minus 2. And if you have that answer, well done. Now let's focus on the portion of the table directly above X minus 2, where we see the arithmetic operations detailing Moses' age for every single one of Shaquille's age. Just below that, the algebraic expression does the very same thing, but in a more general way. Hence, algebra is the generalization of arithmetic. So then, this enables us to get a more formal definition for algebra. Algebra, the part of mathematics in which letters and other general symbols are used to represent numbers and quantities in formulae and equations. You can go right ahead and take this down because it is very valuable for the rest of the lesson. Which tacitly brings us to the question of what does CSEC Algebra require? Well, students should be able to translate between algebraic symbols and worded expressions. That word between means either from words to algebra or from algebra to words. In our case, we will be doing the former. And those mathematical expressions are some very important mathematical keywords that we will be talking about, especially those highlighted in blue. And now it's time for our famous 3 easy steps. And these steps are identify and isolate, identify mathematical words and isolate them as with a pencil, then replace those mathematical words with a symbol like an @ sign. Finally, rewrite those symbols, connect them together and with the information in the question. So let's see how this is done. Let's read our first example. I think of a certain number and I add 4 to it. Our first step is to identify and isolate. Certain number is a key mathematical word. Also, add is a key mathematical word. Next step, we have to replace and symbolize. Certain number can be replaced with x and add can be replaced with the add or plus sign. Our third step is rewrite and connect. We simply rewrite x plus and we include 4, which connects it to the information of the question. Example 2 is similar. After halving a certain number, I added 10 to it. First step, identify and isolate. Halving is a mathematical word as well as is certain number. In this case, added is a mathematical word. Second step, replace and symbolize. Halving can be replaced by the fraction of 1/2 and a multiplication sign. Certain number can be replaced by x, and added clearly can be replaced by the @ sign. Third step, rewrite and connect. We are going to connect them all together and connect them to the information within the sum. Note, a half multiplied by x is the same as saying a half x. And now, this brings us to the second major question for this lesson. Read it carefully. You have 1 minute. Hey, did you notice this question contained the expressions of the last 2 slides? Well, if you did, you should get all the answers you see here. And please don't forget, the number on the right side is the same as a certain number on the left side, indicated by the arrow. But now, we want to talk about the thing that brings the 2 expressions on either side together, and that is the word, the results. Results is symbolized by the equal sign. And this is the meeting point that brings the expressions on the left and the right together. Both expressions are correct, but the bottom one is the preferred one. And now we have our first exercise, questions 1 through 5. You have 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the music. These are the answers here. Feel free to pause to look at these solutions carefully. And with that exercise, we have come to the end of today's lesson. We defined algebra, we discussed and contrasted algebra and arithmetic, and we rewrote sentences using our 3 easy steps. Now, here is some delightful homework to further your understanding of the topic. You can either stop the video and write it down or take a screenshot. And now, this is a segment I would like to call Thinking Next, where I want to talk about algebra and arithmetic. Arithmetic is where one person sends a message to another person, and then another, and then another, until everyone gets the message. Whereas algebra, one person sends the message out and everybody gets the message at the same time. Very close to what I think is a broadcast. Which reminds me, our phones have the ability to broadcast. And the question is, which apps broadcast? And can there be algebra involved in these apps? This is an interesting idea for you to explore. So I really think you should take a look at it and see if it's really true. And yes, you should check it out and inquire on your way ahead in mathematics. Which brings me to my next point, because ahead of you immediately is success. Success is ahead of you as long as you remember the 3 rules and the 3 easy steps. Thank you very much. Goodbye.